And I do believe, long time no see, we are back, but this is me talking some wrestling. We are back with Bumps and Bruises, and to kick us right off with it, as we know, last week we had a lot of different wrestling going on, which we won't be covering at all, but we will cover some Night of Champions, recapping that. First off, we have our new crowned Queen of the Ring and already challenged her opponent to the match at SummerSlam. We had Io Sky versus Liv Morgan, and then they're going to run it back, as Jey Uso would do at SummerSlam, because Io Sky, the Empress of the Sky, is your new Women's Queen of the Ring, and I'm glad to see that they acknowledged it by her chasing after a title. Originally, I thought it was going to be her versus Rhea. Rhea's, I know, on the shelf right now with her injury, so it's kind of curious and kind of got to see where that's going to end up being because she hasn't relinquished the title yet, so it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. But shout out to Io Sky for getting the dub. Thought overall it was a pretty good pay-per-view. I definitely did not expect Sami Zayn to be your new WWE champion. However, it does look like Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, is going to be another nightmare and get another reign in because, for those that don't know, Cody Rhodes 2 nights ago on SmackDown beat, I believe it was Jey Uso, I want to say, for a world title match. I did see that he won, though, so now it gets to be Cody challenging Sami this Monday on Monday Night Raw for the WWE Championship. So hopefully they let Cody not win again and let Sami actually have a little bit of a run. I think he's doing the best social media work of his career right now. I think he's been smoking it, how he was pushing the title on the swing. Thought that was amazing. The last real good guy gimmick, he turned something that probably most couldn't get to work, turned it into championship gold, and finally got his moment that was much long overdue and deserved. So shout out to Sami Zayn for becoming the WWE champion. However, there's one thing that kind of confused me about Night of Champions. Kind of lost me. Once again, speaking of Jey Uso, he fought Obafemi in the finals for the King of the Ring tournament, and got in way more offense than I think he should have got, even though I do have the yeet behind me. I always do like Jey Uso, but sometimes I do think he is being a bit over-pushed, but what do I know? Well, anyways, Obafemi is your new crowned King of the Ring. Now, for those that don't know, King of the Ring comes with a special stipulation that if you win and you get the crown, that you get to challenge an opponent of your choice, either the World Heavyweight Champion or the WWE Champion at SummerSlam. So tell me why the following night on Raw, Obafemi, who's just now had 2 matches with Brock, 1 loss, 1 win, now wants to trade in the King of the Ring opportunity to then chase the belt and pick a opponent of his choice for SummerSlam. And now he decides that he wants to face Brock Lesnar in a Hell in a Cell match at SummerSlam, which, don't get me wrong, I'm hyped for it. I want it. I think it looks like a great match. But I think we could have got there a different way because you low-key just made Obafemi say he don't give a fuck about being champion, which just buries your belts and buries the prestige that your titles hold. That's just me in my opinion, in my book. Maybe I'm hot take Tuker-ing it there, right there. But, again, not mad at the match that they made, just mad at how we got there. Because to me, it just makes the whole point of that crown absolutely pointless. Again, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns now is the plan for SummerSlam. Great. Love it. Overdue. Glad we're getting it. But the guy that lost in the first round of the tournament now is a shoo-in for a world title opportunity? Not so quick, Paul Levesque. I'm not falling for that one. I didn't get that text, Triple H, or else I would have been able to tell you we could fix that shit. But overall, I thought King of the Ring was a good show. Just once again, I did not understand what the point of the men's King of the Ring tournament was, not having LA Knight win when now he's in bloodline hell still. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see how it unfolds. But as far as releases go, I did see that, well, not released, but he's just not re-signing his contract. Unfortunately, we appreciate you, Sheamus, but we'll see it down the road. And by down the road, I'm sure you're going to be popping up in AEW, which I think is a great home for Sheamus. I think that that's where he can really own in and get back to being a top-tier guy. We know that he's one of the best in-ring workers. Yes, is he stiff? Sure. Pause. But, I think he works great in the ring. A lot of people love working with him. I know it'll suck for when Drew comes back and Sheamus, his best friend, not being there. But Sheamus O'Shaughnessy, can't wait to see where you pop up. Thank you for all your time you put into the WWE. Sad that I had to see it go that way, but now it looks like John Cena's last match had you involved in it as well, and it was unfortunately your last match in the company. And you've accomplished so many things. The only thing that Sheamus wasn't able to ever get his hands on, unfortunately, was the Intercontinental title. But in my book, he's still one hell of a Grand Slam champion with or without it. However, I don't know if you guys have seen the news. Enzo and Cass are heading back to the Fed, heading back to the greener pastures, as some would call it. We're getting Enzo and Cass reportedly coming back. That's going to amp up the tag division. I think Enzo's great on the mic. I think there's a lot of potential there to see with what Cass can do. And Cass had great work as Big Bill in AEW, but I think it's time to bring him home and revamp up, get this tag division off the ground. I'd love to see a lot of other people come back, though, too. Obviously, I got my Cope shirt on, my Adam Copeland, but I don't think we're ever going to see him back. Unfortunately, he's going to probably finish out in AEW. But I would like to hear from you guys and see who you'd like to see returning with Enzo and Cass being back. That kind of opens up the door for who else we'd like to see come back. And do not say Alberto Del Rio, for the love of Christ. But no, I would like to see what those two do when they come back, and I'm looking really forward to it. Speaking of something that I am looking really forward to seeing where they go with it, because I think there's some potential there if they see it. I was just talking about Obsession and Pull Up the Chair 115. If you haven't seen it, go check that out. Please hit that like and subscribe, all that good shit. Shameless self-promotion, baby. But I think what they should do with Danhausen, because right now he's my favorite thing on the television screen when it comes to wrestling. I'm eyes glued to every Danhausen segment and even end up rewatching it. I think his interaction with Liv Morgan a couple weeks ago on Raw was one of the best, if not the best, Danhausen interaction yet, because of how those two work off of each other. But with Obsession being, a massive smash hit, obviously it's made its own way into the culture. I think, because how wrestling loves to reflect what's going on in current cinema and in current times and everything, I think it would be cool if Danhausen cursed Liv Morgan, but cursed her in a way where now she's fully obsessed with Danhausen. I don't know why. Maybe I was just high when I thought it, but I think a Danhausen Liv Obsession storyline could actually have something to it. It could have some meat on its bones, depending on what they do with it. Because everybody could be like, now all of a sudden Liv just loves you, doesn't love Dom anymore. What the hell's going on? And then you got Dom really trying to get shit uncursed, because now Liv's cursed and is obsessed with Danhausen. Some could say Obsessedhausen. But I think it's going to be really exciting to see just exactly where they go with Danhausen. I think that would be a fun route. But as far as Danhausen goes, he's over like Rover, baby. I mean, he's got the Stone Cold level pops at this point. When he took that Knicks jersey off of Dom, and just his delivery of everything, too, I mean, the crowd eats it up. They love the guy. I mean, how can you not? So you're telling me you don't love Danhausen? Well, I got something for you. You are cursed. And I'm sure Danhausen would give me the power and bless it upon me to bestow that wisdom upon you, that you don't want to crosshausen the Danhausen, Stanhausen, the Manhausen. But that leads us to, before we get up out of here, as always, I like to leave with a Q&A, get a question from the homies, get a question from the internet, get a question from all the great people over on Twitter, IG, TikTok. If you haven't followed me there yet, go follow me there as well. But we got a question from my dude, Big Z Dog. He said, besides Triple H, who do we think, as a wrestler turned booker, could book WWE better right now? Instantly, I got three answers that come to my mind. One, I'm going to go with Triple H's wife, and that is the great, the amazing, always phenomenal Stephanie McMahon. I think that she easily could run it potentially better than Triple H. I know that there for a while she was working big time behind the scenes with Raw and SmackDown in the early 2000s while even still being on screen. So salute to Stephanie for that. I think that she has the power to be potentially, again, better than Triple H. I think she easily gets the benefit of the doubt. Then I would say Triple H's best friend also has a shot, Shawn Michaels, because of how great he books NXT. I used to feel so bad for years. He'd be booking some great shit on NXT, get somebody super over, and the next thing you know, it's Karrion Kross coming out in a red Mortal Kombat suit on his debut with a whole different name. But I do think that Shawn Michaels has that potential, as well as Stephanie McMahon does, to run the company potentially better than Triple H. And last name I will say, which these two, Shawn and Undertaker, who I'm going to say, I think they have the potential to book it better than Triple H, but the only thing is that Shawn only books NXT and Taker only books AAA. So them having to book a whole bigger picture and shows and multiple PLEs and Saturday Night's Main Event, I think that would definitely put their pens and their minds to the test. But I do think that they have the knowledge and are more than capable of also running it better than Triple H. But now I also wanted to say that I do think Triple H overall runs the company really well. I think that he has a couple hiccups here and there and a couple goofs, but hey, that's going to happen. You're running a $1 billion machine, basically, so you're bound to not get everything right. You're definitely not going to please everybody. But with that being said, happy to be back talking wrestling. Hope to have a co-host with me here soon, back talking wrestling. But with that being said, it's Mr. Keep the Love High and the Hate Low. Wake up with a smile on. Remind yourselves of 3 things you're grateful for. And most importante, you look in that motherfucking mirror and you say, I love you. Big cheers, big pros. Catch y'all next week. Peace.